Welcome down to the plot on a very grey day, third week in November. I've come to put part of the haul that I got from the garden centre the other day. Well, B&Q, which is a garden centre. Very cold, but welcome. Here we have one of the dwarf rootstock fruit trees which I'm planting now. It's a white transparent, it's a cooker. And I bought two of these white transparent, they're called apples. These are cookers, these look absolutely gorgeous, apparently extremely tasty. They need pollinators, so I believe I've got suitable pollinators. I think probably Bramley would pollinate these or other ones. And it's ready to pick. They say it's delicate, crunchy, sweet and sour. Keeps well, ready to pick early in July, but my Bramleys were ready as early as the end of July this year, so I've got two of these because I do like cookers, particularly apples with a good flavour. And basically it was a root wrap, so what I've done, as you can see, there's the bare roots there, dug a hole larger than needed. The actual compost that's around it, I've put it in. You can always add, I can add some more fertiliser into there, a bit of chicken manure, fill it over, tamp it round with your boots. Get your boots round it, really tamp it round, and you can put a stake in to support it. And this is a perfect time for planting these dwarf rootstock. There's the graft there, you see. Perfect time for planting these trees. Got these at a fantastic bargain, as you know. On this plot I put a Renette grise. It's also known as a Renette du Canada, or a French russet. It has an origins. It was introduced to Canada in 1870, this russet apple. So anyway, it's just a little bit taller than me, and it's alongside its other companions, some other apple trees that we believe flower at the same time. And the white transparent, the first one I mentioned to you, is also here. That's a cooking apple, very old variety. That's also gone here. Another one I'll put on the other plot. And also an Ida red. None of these apples I've mentioned are self-fertile. I also got this Eastern European plum called Wigurka dabrawica. Very heavy cropping, small plums, almost like damsons. Comes away easy from the stone. They say it's ready to pick in August, so it's not too early. Because I was worried. They had another one called a plum hermit, which is a massive cropper, but it's an early cropper. And where I am, that would be very prone to frost in flower, so this one's quite good. I'll try this one in the UK. I've been after one of these for quite a long time. It's a plum president, known to be very heavy cropping. And basically, from on the information sheet, it says that it's ready to pick in October. I don't believe that it is self-fertile, but having said that, I've got lots of other plum trees, and I like the idea that it consistently gives good crops. I planted this little Mirabelle plum, sort of a seedling. There were £3 at B&Q. This brand's called Verve, and it's next to a sloe. I love my wild stuff. These are good for hedging, and the wind breaks between my plot and a neighbour's plot. And the Mirabelle may or may not give me some sort of cherry plums. Of course, the birds might like them, or good luck to them, and same with the sloes, because I know that song thrushes like eating sloe berries. Well, I've had some happy news on my goji berries. I actually had some goji berries. I'd probably say about 30 or 40, but it's the first year. I've just read somewhere they can take 5 or 6 years before they come into fruition, if you like. So looking through the plant there is some. Every time you see a little red dot, it's a big tick with me. And it's plagued by this sort of fungusy sort of thing, like a mildew. But people have got different solutions for it, and I'm sure one or two of you might give me a few ideas. I think airflow's an issue, but I'm not giving up on it. I love the denseness of it, and the fact that, you know, creatures can hide inside here, hopefully safe from the moggies on the plot. Here we have some windfalls. First of all, picking those before the insects and the birds get some. I've noticed some hungry blackbirds eating apples. Well, they're welcome to our windfalls, but Granny Smiths are one of my favourites, and as you can see, ours have started to go russet on this tree. been a successful year. It's sort of bowed the tree over. We've had to use extra stakes on it, 2 big plastic stakes. They've got metal inside them. But if you are going to use stakes, I mean, we've learned the hard way, always make sure you use, we've used this proper strengthened plant ties that don't cut into the tree. And I noticed quite a few of you are using special plant ties. The idea is don't cut into the bark, because if you do that, you go through the cambium, that's it for your tree, as I've learnt the hard way. This is what I mean by the russet coating on these Granny Smiths. I mean, they wouldn't be supermarket ready, but it does change their flavour. We find that it actually does give them a much better flavour, and you can see how they've ripened differently because we've left them. They taste so much better than supermarket. I can't say that of all the veg I've grown, but these definitely recommend leaving your Granny Smiths until they go russet, which is like 3rd week in November here in the UK. Even got some red on them. We've still got some red apples left, and there's a little windfall down there from our crop this year, and they'll be being picked very soon as well. Crikey, they stand out in the gloom, these red ones, don't they? Here we've got some beetroot cylindra. I grew these from seed. They carry on. Despite the really heavy clay soil, these are very happy, so we just carry on picking the odd one when we come down to the allotments. This is my one of the 3 Ulian gauge, pardon my French, gauge plum. It's never cropped properly. It's been hit by brown rot, blossom rot as it's called. So this year I'm going to try, I've seen some things on YouTube where people say you can dilute hydrogen peroxide in water because you need to get to the fungus, because it apparently lives dormant on the roots of the tree, on the rootstock. So, but also I'm going to try, this time I'm going to try just putting some dilute vinegar around it, because apparently fungus does not like changes in pH. Don't want to make it too harsh on the tree, but a spray with, I'm just going to use the pickling vinegar, which I've already used, and try that to see if that'll attack the brown rot. But I also am going to get hold of just a little bit of the peroxide and peroxide bicarbonate, they say, and 1 or 2 other ingredients. And I'll get back to you and see how on that, and I'll show you how it gets on with this gauge. These are my black jewel raspberries, and I've got 2 of the little beauties. The one at the back there was getting just a little bit of mildew on it, so I thought it was best to get it planted ASAP in the clay soils. Their home is next to the wild blackberries, so you never know. Hey, what about if they cross-pollinate? Wouldn't that be exciting? Gonna give us a little song. Here we have an apple which has got the codling moth in, but we grow organically, and you're going to get these. It's you can see it's basically you've got sort of the caterpillar stage, and it sort of pupates inside, and it's alive, and obviously the moth lays eggs and then they hatch out, and there's a whole life cycle, and the apple is part of the life cycle. But it's just organic, and really to discourage them you're supposed to keep the trees clear underneath. Planting mint underneath apparently might help. Some people mention chamomile also is good, and garlic, anything that puts them away from the smell. This is the same apple from the outside, and you can actually see the entry out of where the moth has, the moth laid its eggs, and then the sort of grub larval stage has got in.